kind of was the biggest mishap in this game tonight, just on your end?
Yeah, I thought. I mean, there's a number of things, but I thought one of the two of the key things was just kind of rebounding at both ends. I thought that our offensive guys that were crashing were overextending themselves when it wasn't necessary. Like, you could kind of see it was like a 90-10 ball maybe, and they'd already have it, and we'd kind of still making a play on it, and then they were out the other way. The transition, like, turned that game around. Like, they got a bunch, I think it was at least 4, if not 4 transition threes in the first half, and that's what kind of changed it, was a transition. And then obviously there was some defensive rebounding issues as well that got them some kick out threes, and that continued. I think we did a little bit better in transition because I thought we did a decent job of guarding them in the half court, but the transition and the offensive rebounding by them were a problem.
How would you, I guess, evaluate just your total offense tonight?
Not very good. Yeah, not very good. Thought we were sped up. I thought the physicality got us. We didn't get a lot of screens set. They were breaking through, busting through a lot of them. We didn't put much pressure on the rim with our roll threat. I thought we did turn the corner and had some decent shots at the rim, but again, didn't finish a high enough rate of those with some physicality. There was some pushing in the back and hitting on the thing, but they're not. You still got to find a way to steer those in. So I think we did miss a bunch of those opportunities. Probably most disappointed, and I thought we had generated some great looks from 3 early in the game, and for whatever reason we kept kind of up over. Like a couple possessions where I thought that one should have been shot, that one should have been shot, and that one should have been shot, and all of a sudden none of them were shot, and then we're jammed at the end of a shot clock with not very good. So, I mean, when we generate those catch and shoots, we gotta pull the trigger. So I think we were hesitant on a lot of stuff.
Going off of that question, I guess it seems like last game with Tyrese being so hot, and then tonight there's a lot of trying to switch hunt and be kind of like meandering in that regard.
Yeah.
How do you balance sort of switch hunting versus being more intentional with running sets?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to like mix things up. I didn't think that either of our other kind of handlers, Caleb and Kelly, had much force or much going either. Like the last game, where you could see we had a lot of guys starting a lot of stuff, and we were running similar things, but just kept moving the pieces around. We tried a little bit of that early, but weren't having much success with making. I mean, first play of the game, Caleb turns a corner and we get a charge. We executed that one really good, but we didn't quite make the right play at the end of it. But those guys turning the corner tonight wasn't nearly as effective for paint touches and kickouts. And you're right, again, we didn't do a good enough job of waiting, setting, separating on Tyrese's screen and rolls. He just wasn't getting enough separation on those things to create some type of advantage. I mean, he did get a good number of shots downhill, right? And he didn't, he had some, 10 cracks at the 3. A couple of those were pretty tough, but I think there's most of the other ones we want him to take. But we can't he scored enough tonight, right? He scored enough tonight. I think we just need some other guys to. I mean, we need some production from Eric and Kyle and Drum and some. Everybody's got to chip in right now.
Nick, you mentioned you had some defensive rebounding problems at times. I guess how much of that right now is just a lineup issue where to get shooting on the floor, almost definitionally, you have to get smaller and you have to sacrifice rebounding.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that we do get to a pretty small lineup a lot. I mean, we actually start a fairly small lineup, right? I still think that, those guys got to just do a little bigger job than their position or size indicate. Kelly and Caleb got to be good defensive rebounders. I mean, they aren't the biggest guys in the world, but they're both athletic, and they gotta chase them down. And then I think when Drum's in, it feels like we got a pretty good chance. But even he wasn't quite as dominant as he's felt at the defensive glass tonight. Then when he's not out, then it really becomes everybody's got to fight like heck. Yeah.
For a team with such high expectations, how would you sum up your first 4 games?
Well, I don't think we've played very well, right? I think we played really, really good in Indiana. I mean, we played really good segments tonight. I felt really good the way we were guarding and the way we were playing early in this game, first quarter and a half, probably. And I didn't even feel that bad at halftime, even though we were down 9. I thought we're doing some okay things. Shore up the transition D, shore up the rebounding. We'll be okay. But we've got, the situation we're in right now. Our guys are going to have to play at an average to above average level. We can't have a group like the other night. Everybody was above average. Every guy that hit the floor, you're like, man, who didn't play good tonight, right? And tonight you probably could find some guys that you need them to be a little bit higher, and we're going to have to do that if we're going to win games.
Kind of showing up in a floater in this game. Is that something that you've been trying to preach to him and maybe even to the whole team to kind of combat that size disadvantage?
Well, he's obviously really confident and been really aggressive, and I think he's going to use, he'd much rather kind of turn the corner and use some of his scoops and stuff to get there. I think, we've talked about, the first couple games we got a lot of shots blocked for guys kind of just taking them in there a little wildly, right? So we'd certainly rather shoot it before we get it blocked, right? Whatever it takes. But again, I thought he was really good and gives us a little bit of a spark plug to just get it to the rim and make a play.
Portion of your crowd was exiting this one with a fair amount of time left in the fourth quarter. Felt like tonight. I guess, what's the team's frustration level at this point after a 1-3 start?
Well, I think we know we got to play better. Right, I think we know that we got some work to do. We know we got a lot of new guys. Right, we're not at full strength. All those things. I think we're okay. I think the guys understand the things they're doing. They're really focused and trying to do them better, and we'll get back to work. Yep. Thank you.
With different defenses, like kind of being in a similar boat the first 4 games of this year, like what are you continuing to learn about what that takes and just how to combat that and just continuing on, I guess, in that way?
I mean, the first 2 games, I feel like I rushed a lot and I was like trying to force it. But I think the last 2 games, especially maybe the last 6 halves, I've been pretty solid at just playing my game, playing my own pace, getting to my spots and trying to get my teammates involved. Early, I think I was just a little happy to be back playing and, had to get back used to it. But I think the last 2 games, I've done a pretty good job of just controlling pace, controlling tempo, and trying to be myself.
Tyrese said there was one thing that you think connects all the losses so far. If there's anything that stands out for you, what do you think that is? That is the main reason maybe that you're 1-3 right now.
The main reason, that's a good one. I think transition defense hasn't been great. Coach Nurse was talking about we got to figure out when we want to crash, when we don't want to crash, who we want to crash in, and being smart about our crashing too. So I think that's one thing that we could talk about, and it's a lot of different pieces on why we've been losing. I think the Raptors game we just didn't play hard enough. Honestly, we just didn't play hard enough and didn't play well enough. Milwaukee came in, they made some shots, we messed up some coverages, and tonight they outplayed us. They out-rebounded. I don't know if they won the rebound. Yeah, they did. Pretty bad. They out-rebounded us, they out-toughed us, and they got to where they wanted to get to.
Tyrese, this was the longest stint you've had in a regular season game with Jared. I guess what stood out about
Jared?
with him?
Jared was good, man. He was good, dude. Like he fought, man. He fought his tail off, offensively and defensively. I just told him to be ultra aggressive, dude. Like, we seen the flash in camp, we seen the flash in like pickups and stuff. So, he just has to be aggressive. Like I know I've been in that spot before, where it's you're getting out there, it's your first time coming off the bench, you're nervous to make a mistake, you don't want the coach to get on you, you want to be perfect, but you can't be perfect. It's not a perfect world. Basketball, everybody's going to make mistakes. So it's just like stuff happens. So I think he was really good tonight, though. He fought his tail off defensively and, he played well offensively.
Tyrese, you just said that they outfought us and out-toughed us. Are you surprised that this team, which has a decent number of veterans and guys who have played before in this league, got out-toughed by the Pistons tonight?
I'm not going to say. I mean, I feel like we're a tougher team for sure. But, when stuff doesn't go our way, we can't hang our head. Caleb Martin kept saying, he's been saying it since day one, like, if they score or if they go on a run, you got to keep playing. You got to keep playing the same way. You can't drop your head. Can't let the ball bounce after something happens, after you turn the ball over. You got to get out and keep playing. It's a 48-minute game. That's a very long game. And so many different things happen. And the way threes are now and the way that, the pace of the game, people come back quickly. You know what I'm saying? We've seen people come back from large amounts, and you just got to keep chipping it away.
What's the key to navigating this time that you don't have Joel and Paul as you wait for them to return?
You just got to keep fighting, keep finding ways for, guys to get going, guys to get good shots. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be better on the defensive end. We got to be better at all aspects. Like, without them, it's not much margin for error. You know what I mean? We gotta cover up what they do. You know what I'm saying? We know who Joel is. We know what he brings to the table. MVP candidate every single year. Then we know what Paul brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be on our P's and Q's at all times. And that's offensively, that's defensively, that's coming out the huddle. We have to know we're running. You know what I'm saying? We have to know our plays. We can't go empty possessions where we turn the ball over on just not knowing where to be. You know what I'm saying? Guys like us not knowing where to be. And then, of course, most of the time, that's on me. I got to tell guys, hey, we're running this. You got to be here, blah, blah, blah. So I'll take that, and we'll try to get better at it.
I guess building off of that, the figuring it out process with so many new guys, with the two guys that you don't have right now, just what are some of the nuances of that you kind of are already thinking like, okay, yeah, these are the things that need to be sharper that aren't necessarily on the stat sheet, but like just figuring out a team cohesion, I guess.
Right. Honestly, like, we didn't turn the ball over like crazy today, but like it's timely turnovers. You know what I'm saying? It's timely shots. It's timely times where we don't get back. Like, that's what we have to realize. Like I said, the margin for error is so slim to none. Like, we can't have empty possessions. We can't have possessions where we don't know what we're doing. We can't have lapses on defense. Without those two guys out. I mean, that's just the nature of it. That's the life of it. And we have to go out there. We have to execute. We have to be prepared. We have to be more prepared than the other team. We have to know what we're running, when we're running it, and we have to know the scouting report. We have to know what we're going to do, and we have to execute that plan. Whatever the coaches are telling us to do, no matter what the scouting report is, we have to execute it.
There was a sequence in the fourth quarter before an inbounds play. It looked like Cade Cunningham was getting into you a little bit, pushing, being physical. Do you anticipate other teams doing that across the league, being more physical with you, or has that already happened?
It's already happened. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I would do it too. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to wear somebody down who they feel like can, penetrate the defense and hurt them, which is, they have every right to do that. I mean, that doesn't bother me one bit. You got to be able to use that physicality against them sometimes, and which I have done. So, and then that's basketball. I mean, this is the NBA. Like, they're supposed to do that. They shouldn't just let me walk in and score. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to be tough for that. We should be doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Cade, guys like Ivy tonight. We got to wear them down. We got to find ways to throw different looks at them and throw different things at them.
Tyrese, the offensive struggles of the team so far this season, how do you feel that opportunity for you, or how can you use that as an opportunity, I should say, to further improve yourself as a facilitator, or how have you already?
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple plays where I got downhill and tried to skip it and, try to create second side action. And I mean, sometimes we got to shoot some of those, you know what I mean? And Coach showed a couple clips today of me and somebody else getting into the paint, collapsing defense, kicking it out. And we got to shoot them. No matter who it is. Like, we work every day, and guys work on their games every day, and they can shoot. So if the ball comes out, I tell Caleb all the time, like, I want you to shoot as many open threes as you can. Like, beginning of the game, I drove it, kicked it to him, he shot it, he missed it, I got it back, drove it again, kicked it right back to him. Like, I tell him to shoot it, because that's the only way that it's going to open up for all of us.
Thanks, Terry.
Yep.